Hi everyone, this is Ms. Hessen. I am going to go over the stoichiometry lab to help you guys out. And as you watch this video, know that it's going to probably be in two sections because I think it's going to take me that long to explain it. But here I have the lab pulled up. You're going to click the link into Blackboard, load homework, go to stoichiometry and limiting reagents, and enter the textbook style limiting reagent problem, which I have pulled up here. Okay, after you upload this lab, the next thing that you want to do is look and find a periodic table. I just found this one online by Googling it, and it has all the information that I need, or if you have one in front of you, just use that. You're also going to want to pull up in Blackboard under your stoichiometry part B this chart. This is what's going to help you solve those stoichiometry problems when we come to it. And finally, you're going to need your lab report. Let's take a look at the lab report. There are some pre-lab questions, and these are important to answer because you're going to use these values later on in the problem. The first one that you're going to use, you're going to find the molar mass, or the molar mass of each of these substances. You're going to take the atomic mass of each one and add them all up. You have a couple more problems here that you're going to need to go through, and then create a hypothesis, and then it says list all materials and equipment in this lab. You can go through and look through the program, but the important part is listing the procedures. Now, if you're good, you can flip back and forth, but if you're like me, sometimes I need to write down the procedures because this lab is a little tricky with flipping back and forth. Okay, we'll go to the lab. The first thing it asks you after you've done all your pre-lab information is to go to the problem description. And when I click on this, I look at the problem for the limiting reagent problem. And what we're basically going to do is we're going to check how each of these substances react in water. And then when we combine two substances, the NaCl and the AgNO3, which is the silver nitrate and the salt, or the sodium chloride. When we react these two, we're going to find these two substances, and we're actually going to get a precipitate. We're going to get the silver chloride, and that's going to come out as a solid. So what we need to start off with is go down to step number 1, and you are going to view the solution labeled 1 gram and NaCl, and it contains 1 gram of NaCl dissolved in water, and use the solution finder to determine the number of grams of Na and Cl in the solution and confirm that these add up to 1 gram. When we do this, we're going to go back to our workbench, we're going to pull over our substance, and this is the trick with this. Molarity is right here. You want to click that into grams. And what that's going to do is that's going to give you the grams for the Na, for the sodium, and for the Cl for the chloride, for the chlorine. And then you have right here, this is written in scientific notation. This E would be 10 to the minus 1. So these are actually 0.3934 and then 0.6066 if you were going to write them out in non-scientific notation, which you can do. You're more than happy to do that. You're going to go back to your problem after you write down those figures on your lab sheet. You're going to go ahead and follow the rest of the instructions. This one, for example, is telling you that the solution labeled 1 gram of silver nitrate contains 1 gram of solid silver nitrate. So you have to add 100 milliliters of water, and then we're going to do that same thing. So we go back to our workbench, pull this down, we're going to pull our water down. Usually have to just stick it in there, and at some point it'll hook on. And these are a little tricky. There we go. And down here you see the transfer note. We're going to put in 100 milliliters, pour. Now we have our substance. So you see that these are tricky even for teachers. And you go back over here to the grams, and you can see how this breaks down and what our different amount of grams are. You'll notice the e to the minus 1, it's in scientific notation. You just move this decimal point over 1 to